Tell me what's on your mind.
The Craig Bushon Show. The Craig Bushon Show.
The new Talk Radio 96.3 and 1370.
Yeah, I like that song. I like all my music. Casey always does a great job mixing those albums. Yeah. Welcome to the Craig Bushon Show live from my flagship station here with Intercom 96.3 FM 1370 every Sundays, 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And Mondays and Tuesdays, we took yesterday off. I hope everybody had a great Memorial Day. Let me ask Casey, too. Casey, did you have a great Memorial Day? I hope you did. You know, it's all about making sure we keep track of what we're supposed to be looking after this time of year. And on Memorial Day, that is obviously all the veterans and all the wars that we've been in the past. We got to make sure that we pay attention to them.
Absolutely. Thanking those that have made the ultimate sacrifice so that we can enjoy barbecuing and everything else that we do.
That's exactly right. So you enjoyed it then?
Absolutely. Got some time to go down, enjoy family down in New Braunfels, and back at it here today.
Well, there you go. Excellent. Casey always does a great job. I always make people work because I'm always moving and shaking, making something happen. As you can see right now, cbtvonline.com. We can take your phone calls, 512-390-1370. It's the same number you call in on my Sunday show. So we can take your calls there. And obviously here in the state of Texas, this is the day. This is the political day. So I'm assuming I'll probably may get a few phone calls in about what's going on in the state of Texas politics. And folks, I will focus on the whole world. Think of Google Maps, right? And when you can go on Google and you can look at the whole earth and it's kind of turning, and then you can kind of zoom in and zoom in. Well, that's kind of the way I am in this show. Sometimes I got to sit way back. Got to look at what's going on in the whole world. It's kind of look and see, hey, what's going on over here? But then periodically you got to go right back down, land on the ground, that boots on the ground, and get the real perspective. And that's why they say, in Washington, Washington cannot govern us in our states, let alone in our own townships, our own local little farmer's market, if you will, all the rules and regulations of what we can and cannot do, all the way down if I want to have a garden in my own yard and give some or sell a few of them to my neighbors because they really like the way I grow my strawberries. Here in Austin, they grow a few other things, though, that maybe need a little more regulation. But the bottom line is there's a lot of rules going on, and that's because of the politics that happens in our great nation. So I try to focus on all levels because D.C. does eventually bleed down to good old small-town America. And the good news about that is you never run out of things to talk about. But in today's political scene in the state of Texas, this is the day. This is the day when they're all the forces come together, all the stars align, and you vote. The pathetic thing is only about 3% of you are going to do it. And that's a huge issue. Because, today's show is specific about politics. It really is. Because everything's about politics. You can't name me anything that some politician does not have their little pen involved in. Heck, you can't even have, John Stossel, who I like and I have followed for quite some time. He has even made the point that you can't even have a lemonade stand. You got to get your health card. It's all about controls, folks. It's about controls. We're a representative government. That's a fact. That's what it's supposed to be. But unfortunately, they're going to represent their interests. Their interests are the things that pay attention to them. And what's paying attention to them is big money. Because you're not. The majority of the people out there today in the state of Texas are not going to vote. And politicians love that. Not the new ones, not the ones who want to push on the system, not the Tea Party people. They don't necessarily like it if their people don't show up, or if more people don't show up, because the status quo is what's got us $16 trillion in debt nationally. 58% of the people voted for the president in 2008. And that's pretty high. If you look back, it's been down as low as 42%. But you go to local politics, the number is 3% now. And that is very, very bad, because those politicians that are out there, folks, they're not afraid of 3%. They don't care about the 3%. I don't even know why those 3% show up. Oh, it's the union people. See, they're the ones, right? The ones that have organizations, they show up. That's why the Tea Party has been so influential. So that means 97% of the people aren't a part of anything, I guess. And what's so dangerous about that, folks, is that when you don't show up and you don't vote, then you can't recall people and you can't impeach people. I had Sheriff Mack on the other day. Sheriff Mack, one of the biggest Tea Party guys out there in the whole United States, lives right here in New Braunfels, Texas. Sheriff Mack used to be in Arizona. Sheriff Arpaio, he's still out there pushing against the system. Heck, he investigated the President of the United States. And I guess what that got him, now he's being investigated by the President of the United States. I guess that's a little tit for tat. I don't know. I guess you should be afraid then, right? Is that it? He's not afraid. Sheriff Arpaio, what does he say? He says, listen, I'm just enforcing the laws. If you don't like the laws, change them. Sheriff Mack has the same opinion. Very soon we're going to have Sheriff Mack on the program with Sheriff Arpaio, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about border issues. We're going to talk about the law. We're going to talk about why it's not enforced. But here's the bigger issue, folks. We have a big situation going on in this country that we have people not representing us in a representative government. And it's because the majority of the people don't show up. Only the special interests show up. You ever heard the saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease? And they squeak a lot. I mean, they're like non-flippin' stop. They're like that annoying squealing noise when your brakes are going bad. You know, that one. And after a while, it starts to grind. And then after a while, it starts to do a lot of damage, doesn't it? Those calipers are pushing in, and metal on metal starts to happen. And then all of a sudden, once you decide, hey, you know what, maybe it's bad enough now that I should do something. And then you finally show up, and then it's too late. You have to buy what? More than just pads. Can't turn those rotors anymore, can you? Well, that analogy is true with this government, folks, with this country. It is a fact that in this country, we've been having squeaking brakes for a long time, folks. You know, it doesn't matter how you turn up the radio. It doesn't matter how high you turn it up. Keep the windows up all you want. You can try to block it out. But the damage is going to be done, folks. The damage is going to be done. And that's dangerous because it's so expensive to fix that problem that we could have fixed just by doing some maintenance. For us in this country, folks, our maintenance process is to evaluate what's been happening, to look at the people who represent us, and if they're doing what they say they're going to do, what they promised they would do, all the stuff that they, the rhetoric that we constantly hear. And if they haven't done it, that's what we vote for. We vote them in and we vote them out. It's maintenance. It's kind of like purging things, you know? You ever done a purge? Yeah, you know, that special concoction that the doctors make you do before you get like a colonoscopy? Yeah, they kind of purge you, don't they? Why? Because they can see what's in there. I know it's kind of gross, I'm sorry. But So is politics.
Ew.
Dr. Donna Campbell.
Okay, we have first of a few people calling in. Say, look at this, a surprise. Dr. Donna Campbell, I believe, is holding on right now. Hello.
Hi, Craig. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Hey, we're doing great.
Hey, this is the big
I'm at one of
day.
the polling places, so there's probably some extraneous noise. I hope you can hear me okay.
I can hear you just fine, absolutely, and I welcome you to the program. Hey, this is a big day. This is like the day.
Well, yeah. I want to say hi to all your listeners.
Thank you.
And we've got a lot of momentum, so hi to and thank you to everybody who's out there voting for us.
Well, so what are you thinking? You're out there waiting right now. Obviously, the polls close at 7:00.
Yep.
And I remember I was at your event last time. I think you were going against Lloyd Doggett. And obviously, we didn't like the way that turned out. But this time could very well be different.
Well, it is, Craig. We've got a lot of momentum. And, you were just talking about purging. And,
yeah.
Of course, it's not gross to me because, we order this stuff before the colonoscopies. But, there is a lot of rhetoric out there. And it does, voting, when somebody votes, it does give them the opportunity to move out somebody whose values do not agree with them and put somebody in who, if they have done the background checks and the vetting, that does agree with them, and looks good for us and excited about it.
Well, here's the way I look at it. This is, I had Sheriff Mack on the other day. I've had a few other people on that you could say are a little controversial, meaning that they talk about the Constitution. That crazy document. And they talk about enforcement of laws. We talked about border issues, and we talked about a lot of stuff, okay? But the bottom line is, we're on I think, a very delicate timeline. That if we don't start doing things immediately, I equate it. Here's what I say, and you're a doctor, and you can maybe appreciate this. Here's what I say, Dr. Donna Campbell. When my wife was diagnosed 8 years with breast cancer, she had a choice. They found a lump. Okay? Actually, she found it through a self-examination. Then she goes into the doctor's office and say, well, you know what? We don't like the way that this looks. We're going to have to go in and do a lumpectomy. She didn't have to go do one. She chose to go do one. And there's no law that said she had to go cut that out. Instead, she chose to. And when she did, she found out that it looked actually pretty fleshy and pink, but it was not good. It actually had cancer in it. And they went back in. They found out they got all of it out. But then she had to make another decision. She had to decide, hey, they said, now you got to do chemotherapy, and now you have to do radiation. Now, those are all choices, but if she didn't do those things, the odds of her surviving were very, very low. And that's where we're at in this country. We have to find the cancers, we have to cut them out, and then part of that is we're going to have to go through our form of radiation and chemotherapy, and that's not fun.
It's not fun, but a skill set that I bring to the Texas Senate is critical thinking. And when I have a patient, I have to listen, figure out what the problem is, come up with the diagnosis, if you will, and apply the right treatment. And if I don't, people can get hurt. People can die. And first, do no harm. And same thing in the government. Everything's got to be on the table. We need to be listened to. We as constituents, we the people need to be listened to. And our leaders have not done that. And so now we've got the chance to put me in, for instance, very conservative. I like to say Texas Senate needs CPR.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Republicans. And, a chance to cut's a chance to cure. So what? Cut the fat, cut the spending, cut the rhetoric. Let's just get down to business, use some common sense, and that's what I bring. Somebody that's outside the bubble of government.
Here's what concerns me. I'm concerned that the last numbers I looked at is about 3% of the people are showing up to vote in any of these elections. And that astounds me. I mean, I understand in the past maybe people weren't focused on it because the economy was doing okay, or maybe they had money in their 401k, or maybe gas was $1.30 a gallon, or maybe they had a job, or maybe unemployment was at 4.5%. But now I have been pushing people through my programming, get out and vote, and I am shocked. on how many people just stay at home while it's like, hey, the house is on fire. You probably should grab a hose or something.
I believe I have 3 opponents. Granted, there's only 3 candidates and 2 choices. The 2 that have been career politicians, been there, and then me, running for a cause, not a career. But who is the other opponent? It's apathy.
Absolutely.
Apathy. And what we are seeing at the polls, today I'm at the poll, there's not a good turnout.
But what is it? What do you think? I mean, come on. We're American citizens. We're Texans, okay? And then we're parents, and then and we're just people. Why? Why are people not showing up? I don't. Do they believe that it's just going to fix itself? I mean, or are people giving up?
Yeah. Well, a couple things. I think there's a certain sector that believes, what good is one vote going to do? A whole lot of elections are won by such just a handful of votes.
Absolutely.
One vote makes a difference. Number 2, some people think, well, you sound good now, but you get in and you change, so you're all alike. You're all going to be just like, you're going to get up there, you're going to drink the Kool-Aid, if you will. And it makes it hard on folks like me who are tired of the status quo for people to believe there's really a difference, because everybody who's come before me, well, not everybody, but many who's come before me have poisoned the well. And those of us who are really going to try to bring in a conservative difference within the government, it's just difficult for people to believe us.
Well, I think when you talk about votes matter, I look at the Al Franken. I look at people that have won elections by the very small margins, and the fact is, each vote does matter. People have died in this country for the ability to vote. We're one of the few nations on God's green earth that has the ability to truly vote free and not worry about being beat up at the polls. Let alone, I would say in 2008, there were some problems with the Black Panthers and stuff. You could see some of it trying to creep in. But the bottom line is, I completely agree with you. Complacency, I think that people, I understand it. I understand that people don't believe in the government process because you can't get $16 trillion in debt pointing fingers at just one party. And it isn't a one-party issue. It's an American issue. Our problem, I believe, Dr. Campbell, in our country is collectively we're not doing a great job, because even in the last presidential election, which was a pretty high-profile election, only 58% of the people showed up. And I'm told that's a good number.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't think it's not one party or the other. I mean, to add to the problem, I think it is a single mindset. So no matter what party you're on, if you have the mentality of tax and spend, well, we've got to have this, we've got to have that, and you don't have the mentality to cut and save, then it doesn't matter which party you're on. It's the mentality.
Well, I'll tell you right now, we still have 2:45 Central Time right here in Texas. So there's another 4 hours and 15 minutes. The polls are open. This is being broadcasted all through my CBTV network also, which is thousands of people on Facebook, Twitter. I mean, people are actually watching this live from my studio here. And the bottom line is that they need to get out and vote. Now let's focus right on you. Let's focus on, Donna Campbell. What separates you from your competitors? Some people right now are waking up and go, okay, I've been registered, but I haven't done anything. Yeah, they're going to get up and go, and they're going to go, and they need to pick a name in your race. Tell the folks what separates Donna Campbell from the people you're running against.
A conservative mentality. I am conservative. And, some people, they throw that around so easily. So what defines that? Socially, I am pro-life. One of my opponents is pro-choice. Both of my opponents got an F from Texas Right to Life. And there are other issues, social issues that make them not a social conservative. And, just a sidebar, David Barton did a study, or has a study in his presentation, that if you're 100% pro-life, you are the most fiscal conservative. And he was able to show that, know how they vote. I believe in American freedom, Texas sovereignty, limited government, not just in size, but in power. So it's not just the scope. I mean, you can have a small government with one person. That can be a dictatorship. You know, I am pro-life and endorsed by Texas Right to Life, Texas Alliance for Life. I believe in an educated population where the parents have the right to choose education for their children. Self-sufficient families that based on traditional marriage, one man, one woman. I believe we have the right to be safe in our homes, on our streets, and the inalienable right to defend ourselves. I've got an A by the NRA, and that's the best, Craig, that you can get as a challenger from the NRA. I just believe in free market principles, unencumbered by the government, and I don't believe in subsidies. Let's have a fair, level playing field, And, one of my opponents voted for, Ms. Jones voted for in-state tuition for illegals. Well, that's just not conservative. Mr. Wentworth wants to index a gas tax, 10 cents on gas, and index that to inflation. I mean, that's taxes up. They both voted to toll. I am the conservative. And, Craig, if they wanted to go to the Heritage Alliance, that's a nonpartisan.
Sure.
It's a group that's very conservative. They rate everybody. And candidates and elected officials. And in my race, Texas Senate 25, Mr. Wentworth got an F, Ms. Jones got a C, and I got an A+, which I'm very thankful for. When they look at how you fill out your survey, who endorses you, who gives money. Both of my opponents, Craig, have over $1 million just by, Ms. Jones is by one PAC and the group that feeds the PAC, and then Mr. Wentworth has a strong support by by the trial lawyers and others, and I'm the only one that doesn't have any PAC money. But you know what? I'm not going to be beholden to anyone, just the voters, just our Texans.
Well, I will tell the folks this. Ladies and gentlemen, I will tell you about what I know about Dr. Donna Campbell. And this, forget the political side. She has skin in the game. And what I mean by that is that she is truly doing everything she can, even personally, to get in and make a difference. This is not easy. It isn't easy for a regular American who, has not been groomed to be a politician or has not, went to school to learn, to be an attorney first and then go into law and then make friends and then make money and then become a politician. This is a person who has done nothing but given her entire life to helping people live. And that is the doctor side. And my personal opinion, and I've said this many times, that when I talk about you, Dr. Donna Campbell, is that you are somebody that needs to be in politics, and I am so glad that you are sticking to that message, sticking to what it is to be a Texan, what it is to be an American, and that you are willing to do whatever you can. And it's high stakes here. This isn't a little game that you're playing here. This is a real, this is a life-changing event when you do something like this. Whether you win or whether you lose, it's still a life-changing event. And I want to commend you for that. And you are, to me, what politics is supposed to be. And so hopefully, people are going to show up. Hopefully, people are going to hear the message and say, you know what? Yeah, I need to do my part, and they go to the polls. I hope that happens.
Thank you. Well, you know what? If people are happy with the representation they've had that does not represent conservative values, then I won't win. But for people who are tired of politics as usual, truly want conservative values represented, they're going to vote for me.
Well, there you have it.
And we're excited about that, and we believe that's going to take us to victory.
Well, there it is. Folks, you have it till 7 p.m. DonnaCampbell.com. Just go to DonnaCampbell.com. Check it all out. Thank you so much for calling in today.
Thank you so much, Craig.
No, and God bless and good luck, and I know I'll talk to you very soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, there you have it, folks. There is, the perfect example. And listen, I'm telling you, she's a real person. This is a real person. Now, what does that mean when I say a real person? It means that they weren't groomed specifically to go into politics. And they don't want to stay there forever. They want to go in and fix it. And probably get out as soon as possible. Then hopefully someone with the same mindset will go in. We need to change, folks, the way that we do business in this country. The business of politics is really bad right now. And if we don't start really taking a hard look at getting involved, I mean, it's just voting. I mean, it's not like it's hard. It isn't like it's flipping hard. You like show up. I mean, they even mail you the card and tell you where to go. They do all that for you. And then they, when you show up, they say, hey, what you here for? To vote? Great. Can I see your driver's license? Oh, that's craziness, I know. Why do you need the driver's license? Or an ID? I don't know. Because I got to make sure you are who you are. Like cashing a check. Still can't believe people do that. There's a lady cashing a check in front of me the other day. I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, my gosh. Analog world. Analog alert. My life is slowing down because of analog. I got to come up with like a buzzword for the analog world. When I see that, I'm like, oh, my, you're actually writing that in. You're actually writing it in a log. Wow. That's weird. But anyway, I digress. It is very, very simple to vote, folks. No excuses. No complacency. Because if you don't, soon it'll be no republic. We'll be back.
The Craig Bushon Show. The Craig Bushon Show.
The new Talk Radio 96.3 and 1370.
Hey folks, it's Craig Bushon. Overwhelmed by all the different advertising choices you have? Are you keeping up with your social media and SEO marketing? You should be covering a broad range of media, but many companies don't know which are working and which aren't. How about hyper-local marketing? What? Call Focus Media Team today for a free consultation, 877-572-4058. That's 877-572-4058, or go to focusmediateam.com.
This is Pastor John Hoagie reminding you to join Craig Bushon from 2 to 4 p.m. Sunday afternoons after church as Craig casts out the demons of liberalism, heals the wounds inflicted by the Obama administration, and carries his cross arguments to the masses. Remember, a Sunday without Bushon is a sacrilege.
June 1914, and the Shrine of Texas Liberty hits the silver screen.
This Week in Texas History brought to you by Austin's Talk Radio 96.3 and 1370 and the Save Texas History program of the General Land Office.
June 1st, 1914, San Antonio. A new silent film premieres at the Royal Theater, a few blocks from the Alamo. The Siege and Fall of the Alamo is the first feature film about the legendary Battle of 1836. It is also the first and only such film shot at the Alamo. At a cost of $35,000 and with 2,000 extras, the film is a hit. But today, only a few still photos remain. No print of this film has ever been found. The Alamo became a star 98 years ago this week in Texas history.
Learn more at savetexashistory.org or call 800-998-4GLO.
Hello, folks. It's Craig Bushon. Let me tell you something about Prinz Moving and Storage, a quality full-service company. Prinz is locally owned and #1 in Austin for moving and storage. They can move you anywhere you need to go, local moves or coast to coast. Prinz Moving and Storage are residential, commercial, and apartment moving experts. Prinz moves furniture for families and businesses every day into their new homes and offices. Whether across town or across the country, you can rest assured that your stuff will be treated like it's their stuff. Prinz Moving supplies everything you need to make what could be a stressful event more relaxed and trouble-free. And of course, they are licensed and insured for your protection. Let Prinz take the load off your mind. Call them for a free quote today. 512-563-8714. That's 512-563-8714. Or go to prinzmoving.com. That's prinzmoving.com.
Excuse me, sir. Geez, I hate to bother you at a time like this. Now, I know you're a busy man, but I just wanted to ask you one question, sir. One question. Do you listen to the Craig Bushon show? Just one more question, sir. Oh, I love that tie, sir. That's a beautiful tie. One more question. Do you listen to the Craig Bushon show? Oh, sure. Please, just one more question, sir. Do you listen to the Craig Bushon show? One more question, sir. Just one more question, sir. One more question.
Tell me what's on your mind.
The Craig Bushon Show. The Craig Bushon Show.
The new Talk Radio 96.3 and 1370.
My brain is always ticking, my brain. My brain is always ticking, long as I am live and kicking.
Yeah. Welcome back, folks. Craig Bushon Show. Go to CBTV Online. Hey, you're already there. Great to see you. Very excited about today's show because we've been talking about politics. You would think, of course, Craig Bushon, he's always been in politics. I mean, he was born with it, with that little stripe on his back that says politics. No, wrong. I didn't really get into politics until I had to start dealing with politicians. And I didn't really have to deal with politicians themselves. I just had to deal with what they were doing to me. And that was making rules that I didn't like. Yeah, crazy rules. Things that didn't make sense. Things that make gas go up to $3.69 a gallon. Hey, but I got good news for you. Yes. Gas prices expected to fall. Isn't that great? Election season's coming. I told you all this, didn't I? I remember saying this to you. Gas is going to drop. Gas is going to get lower. Yeah, it sure is. But now we're supposed to think, let's see what it says here. Let me go online. Washington Post with Bloomberg says that millions of travelers breathed a sigh of relief when gas prices fell in the weeks leading up to the heavily traveled Memorial Day. Gas is only $3.64 a gallon. Oh, honey, pack the kids. Get the Winnebago, baby. We're going to go. No. No. See, what's happened, folks, is that they've seasoned the skillet, They seasoned the skillet to say that it's now $3. Oh, wait a second. Casey, wait a minute. Casey?
Yes.
You just gave me a note. We're very sophisticated here at the studio, and he just gave me a note that he paid $3.05 a gallon at Buc-ee's in New Braunfels.
The brand new mega convenience store. Yeah, they've
really?
They've started a gas war down there.
Oh, so you don't think it's going to last? You think it's going to stay at $3.05?
Yeah, I think it's going to stay cheap because
cheap. Whoa! Wait a minute.
Relatively cheap.
Yeah, relative to Canada.
Yeah, it's not going to be $1.70 like it used to be. Back in the good old days.
Think about what you just said. I mean, I'm serious, Casey. I'm not picking on it. I love you. You do a great job. But I think they're starting to season your skillet. You actually said, just in casual conversation, hey, it's so cheap. It's $3.05 a gallon. And that's the game. Yeah. That's what they're doing.
You're exactly right. They've engineered us to think that $3.05 is dirt cheap.
$3.05 a gallon? I got an 89 Ram Charger, right? My black Ram Charger. I'm restoring it. I got great partners that are involved. Austin Auto Interiors, H&R Auto Body, Buddies Under the Hood, Heroes Night Out. It's a great thing I'm doing for the vets because we're going to go out and do camping and stuff. Okay? Now, in 1989, what was gas price? About maybe, what do you think? 80 cents a gallon? I don't know. Maybe we could find that stat when that was made. When the 1989 Ram Charger that's got a great 360 V8 Flowmaster exhaust. Yeah. Only in America. You know what I'm talking about? Well, I had to fill it up the other day. And, I swiped my card. And I put in a debit card. I said, swipe it here, cash, credit, or debit. I swipe a card. So I said, let's do debit, okay, because I want to make sure I'm using my own money. And it's pumping. It was on empty. I'll give you that. It was on E. And it kept going. It kept going like, it just kept going up like the debt. Weird. And it got so high. Here's what's weird, folks. Here's what's weird. And no, Casey, this is what's interesting. Because we could say we're running out of credit card right now in this country. Is that a fair statement?
Absolutely.
Okay, it's not our own money. We're using the money of another nation, and they give us the credit card, and we get to swipe it. Am I on the right track?
Basically, yeah.
Okay, so I'm out there, and I'm filling up this beautiful 1989 Ram Charger. I mean, this thing's great. It's got
which, by the way, 1989.
Yes, go ahead.
$1.12 for a gallon of regular unleaded.
$1.12. Wow. Memories. $1.12. Well, that'll kind of make my point here in a moment. I'm going to take a long road. Folks, we're going to go from L.A. to Florida through Chicago. Okay? Well, it's not a straight line, but you'll get my point. So, here I am, and just like we have a credit card, right? The United States of America has a credit card. And what's interesting, I actually used a debit card that's got a Visa thing on it, okay? And it's a debit card, too. And I hit debit. But what was weird, it kept going higher and higher and higher, just like our debt clock that I have at CraigBushon.com. CraigBushon.com, I keep the debt clock there, and it's just a lot of money, a lot of zeros, okay? You got to buy a special calculator to have that many zeros, as a matter of fact. I pulled out the calculator I had for math, actually for business class when I was in high school. I still had it, and it didn't have enough zeros. It's like saying kabillion when you said trillion back then. Like it wasn't even real. But anyway, I digress. I get really crazy when I talk about money. So here I am, Casey. I'm going over there, and I'm filling this thing up, and I swipe my card, and it says Visa on it. And it's going, and it is moving up. And I remember that it didn't go ta-ting, ta-ting, ta-ting. See, I like those old machines. I like the old machines, because every time a dollar would go by, I go ta-ting, which meant money. Ta-ting, ta-ting, ta-ting. Is that annoying yet? Well, guess what, folks? It just kept going ta-ting. Well, now they don't. Now it's like silent. It's like debit cards. You don't even have to count the money anymore. It just comes out of your account automatically. Oh, there I go again. Sidetracked, but not really. I'll get back on the highway right now for you. So here I am, and it's going up and up and up, and it's up at $60, it's up at $70, it's up at $80. I'm like, I want out. I want to bail out of this gas purchase. $80, $90. Dear God in heaven! Oh my God! How big is this tank? Is what I'm saying to myself. Here's what was weird. Here's my point, Casey. I get to $100 on my, and it's still rolling. It stops. I'm like, wait a minute. What's going on here? I have more than $100 in that account. It wouldn't let me go higher. Why? Because it was a cap. They capped what I could buy. Because what they do is they put an automatic, like a little soft charge. They know that you have $100 in there. They cap it. However they do that in the old computer whiz world. But that's not what we have with our debt. See, Casey, they capped me at $100.
Which, of course, you could have just, put the pump back in and
right,
then swiped it again.
I could have done that, exactly. But I had to do additional steps. I'd have to do more steps. Mm-hmm. Somebody put a cap where I couldn't spend over a certain amount, even when I was spending on a debit card. Now, the moral of the story is, that's kind of like our national debt, but we don't have a cap. It just keeps going higher and higher and higher. And now gas, $3.05 a gallon. I gotta say, that's fantastic, Casey. $3.05. Wow. That's
and that was on Memorial Day, which is supposed to be,
crazy.
Some of the highest prices of the year.
Folks, here's the good news. Now, if you're paying $3.05 a gallon, you're still getting ripped off.
Very true.
$3.05 a gallon. See, I'm not mad because it's $3.05 a gallon because it's just $3.05 a gallon. I mean, milk is more than $3 a gallon usually. That's a ripoff too. I mean, I'm getting some pretty bad grass mileage from the cows, if you know what I mean. But the fact of the matter is, $3.05 a gallon, in my opinion, it's the same thing I said to Barry Smitherman. And in case you forget, he's the chairman of the Texas Railroad Commission, which again has nothing to do with the railroads, and I don't want to get caught in those weeds. As your government at work has titles of things that doesn't even do. Hey, let's go to the Department of Motor Vehicles. Hey, what do they do there? Oh, they sell mobile homes. Huh? Yeah. Well, we kind of quit doing the Department of Motor Vehicle a long time ago. But anyway. So, I said to Barry, hey, I think gas needs to be about $1 a gallon, $1.50 a gallon. You want to give the best pay raise to somebody? Now let's go back to that. Was that $1.12 a gallon? I think Casey said. So basically, I paid $3.46 a gallon or $3.41 a gallon at a Viero, and I don't know, not Fiero, but a Viero or
Valero.
Thank you, Valero. Whatever.
Used to be Diamond Shamrock.
Yeah, whatever they are. It's all corrupt. It's all. If you buy gas at Citgo ever, you should lose your citizenship, by the way. It should be automatic loss of citizenship if you buy any gas at Citgo. I mean, Google why. But I found out, because I hadn't had to fill my tank up on this Ram Charger for a long time, I found it has a 30-gallon tank. So that means gas, if I'm on bone dry empty, has to be under $3 a gallon for me to be able to. If it's $3 a gallon, it'd be what? $90? Okay, is that a good deal? No. But let's say that same 30 gallons, $2 a gallon more than 1989. What's changed? You're going to tell me the Chinese? Is that what you're going to tell me? No, it ain't the Chinese. The Chinese are not why our gas is expensive. If you believe that, you're crazy. $2 a gallon difference. Actually, $1.12 from $3.40. I'm going to say I paid $3.40 on this just for even numbers. Heck, forget that. We'll say it was $3.12. That is $2 a gallon difference. That $2 a gallon difference times 30 is $60. $60 every time you fill up? You want to talk about a pay raise? And you don't go to the polls. You don't flip and go to the polls. There's nothing important enough to go to the polls. I mean, I'm sorry. Can you see the look on my face? Though it is smoother because I had another treatment today by Novitas Spa. And I loved it. It helps me relax. Oh, my phone's ringing. Should I answer it? No. I have done that before, by the way, on the air. I've actually talked to people and answered it and didn't like what they had to say. So I didn't put them on. But the bottom line is, $60 every time you fill up is what you'd save. But the answer is, hey, you got to buy a car. You need a Leaf. You need to buy a Leaf. Craig, you need to get rid of that 1989 Ram Charger with the 360 V8 and Flowmaster exhaust with a 727 transmission with Dana 44s with a 5-inch lift with 33s on it by 12.5s. Yeah, get it? I like that. It's like freaking awesome. You ever start up a Leaf? Yeah. Listen, guys, if it impresses your chick, the sound of the Leaf, not going to be a very exciting life. Heck, Harley Davidson sells a lot of bikes. Well, forget it. I like the idea of being able to keep my 1989 Ram Charger. But for those of you out there that are upset about the price of gas because you can't afford it, that's a whole other story. See, that's another big problem that we have. The other big problem that we have is that if you can't afford that, you have a job issue too. And what you have to deal with is that jobs are also a huge part of the political scene. You're getting hit perfect storm from every level, and you don't vote. Folks, you have to vote. And if you didn't register this time, the first thing you should do is register. The first thing. Because if you don't, then we're going to have $5 a gallon gas. Because you do realize somebody did say that energy costs are going to have to necessarily rise. And they have. This is Craig Bushon. We'll be back.
The Craig Bushon Show. The Craig Bushon Show.
The new Talk Radio 96.3 and 1370.
Hey folks, it's Craig Bushon. Overwhelmed by all the different advertising choices you have? Are you keeping up with your social media and SEO marketing? You should be covering a broad range of media, but many companies don't know which are working and which aren't. How about hyper-local marketing? What? Call Focus Media Team today for a free consultation, 877-572-4058. That's 877-572-4058, or go to focusmediateam.com.
This is Pastor John Hoagie reminding you to join Craig Bushon from 2 to 4 p.m. Sunday afternoons after church as Craig casts out the demons of liberalism, heals the wounds inflicted by the Obama administration, and carries his cross arguments to the masses. Remember, a Sunday without Bushon is a sacrilege.
Hello, folks. It's Craig Bushon. Let me tell you something about Prinz Moving and Storage, a quality full-service company. Prinz is locally owned and #1 in Austin for moving and storage. They can move you anywhere you need to go, local moves or coast to coast. Prinz Moving and Storage are residential, commercial, and apartment moving experts. Prinz moves furniture for families and businesses every day into their new homes and offices. Whether across town or across the country, you can rest assured that your stuff will be treated like it's their stuff. Prinz Moving supplies everything you need to make what could be a stressful event more relaxed and trouble-free. And of course, they are licensed and insured for your protection. Let Prinz take the load off your mind. Call them for a free quote today. 512-563-8714. That's 512-563-8714. Or go to prinzmoving.com. That's prinzmoving.com.
Excuse me, sir. Geez, I hate to bother you at a time like this. Now, I know you're a busy man, but I just wanted to ask you one question, sir. One question. Do you listen to the Craig Bushon Show? Just one more question, sir. Oh, I love that tie, sir. That's a beautiful tie. One more question. Do you listen to the Craig Bushon Show? Oh, sure. Please, just one more question, sir. Do you listen to the Craig Bushon Show? One more question, sir. Just one more question, sir. One more question.
Tell me what's on your mind.
The Craig Bushon Show. The Craig Bushon Show.
The new Talk Radio 96.3 and 1370.
Yeah, welcome back, folks. Live. CBTV Online from our beautiful studios here, partnership with Entercom. They are my family for all my Sunday broadcasting, and they do a great job. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, 95.5 HD3, and of course CBTV Online. Big day today. Obviously politics, all that was stinking up the place. All the politics, all right? Now we're going to change that. Because you've heard of this company. I know you have. You've seen the vehicles with the stickers on the back of their windows. I have. And you see off-brands of this stuff. Is there any such thing? Does it make a difference? Does quality matter? I don't know. So I said, you know what? I'm going to bring him in studio, and I want my house to smell good. I have family coming in town. Hi, Mom. Yeah, they're going to come in town, and I have 2 dogs. I have clean dogs, but I have 2 dogs, and they're just dogs. Okay. So right now, what we're talking about, just so you know, is Scentsy. Scentsy. And I have Mary Colburn. She has a website, Mary Colburn, COLBURN.Scentsy.us. Put HTTP there. And we'll put a link up on the Facebook page. You can get to that, and you'll be able to find it. And Mary Colburn, and she has somebody else in studio, Andrea Murphy. Welcome to my show.
Thank you for having us.
It smells good already. I'm serious. So what is it? We got a few minutes here. We've got about, say, 8 or 9 minutes here. So let's fill it with, what is the big deal about Scentsy? I see it everywhere. I'm sure I see Scentsy on the back of cars. Okay, Mary, come on. You're doing it now. You weren't doing it 5 years ago. You're doing it now.
Right. I'm doing it now. Andrea is actually one of my downlines. Scentsy is the new thing, absolutely, in wickless candles. We're wickless, which makes us insurance very safe. There's no open flame. You just do everything with a light bulb. The larger warmers take a 25 light bulb all the way down to a 15.
Really?
Yep. You can use them in dorms, barracks, apartment buildings, houses. With the insurance, you don't want the open flame. You don't want your children getting burnt. They won't burn. They're not going to do anything to scald your child. They are a paraffin-based wax like Grandma used to use years ago when they used to can, so it's all safe, non-toxic. Have several thousand warmers. There's probably about 60 to 80 warmers that they keep in stock. We have 80 scents that change twice a year. So whatever fragrance you're looking for, whether you want a lot of just aroma type, not aromatherapy. It's not aromatherapy, but it's aroma type. It's you smell, it automatically gives you an idea in your head. You can do mom's apple pie.
Wow.
Yep. And it does just smell like an apple pie. Any of our
That's
food,
the thing, too.
Yeah.
A lot of things say, here's what I know. A lot of things that say they smell like they smell don't smell like they smell.
But
correct.
This does. We even have a fruit punch that smells just like a fruit punch that should, make
really?
a picture of fruit punch.
I really like the vanillas.
Right. And there's
those are awesome.
We have a new one right now, cherry vanilla, that is really nice.
I'm going to put up right now, Casey, one of my crack staff members here. He's actually going to put this up. We're going to have it loaded on CBTV, so they'll see your website. Okay,
awesome.
And that's a big deal. I mean, I have to say that if we don't have proof in advertising, okay, or truth in advertising, I should say, and in this industry, you hear a lot about, if you get something that smells good, you'll feel better.
Right.
This aromatherapy words that are thrown out there. Mm-hmm. And I've said it before, and they're like, you can't say the aromatherapy, Craig. I'm like, what do you mean I can't say it? It's everywhere. It's aromatherapy. But seriously, tell me the story about aromatherapy. Why? What's the controversy, and why can't you say it? Kind of explain to the people.
It just goes down, I guess, to a legality. Aromatherapy is more clinically.
Okay.
I call aroma thought. Because
there you go.
You do. When you're home, when you can remember your childhood, you remember mom's apple pie or the blueberry cheesecake, or you went to grandma's and they had gardenias or anything like that. You're going to remember certain things from your childhood or from a place that you used to live that you no longer live. It's always going to trigger something. Some kind of smell will remind you of a place that you were or something, that you dearly loved, or it's anything. And then, of course, you want your house and your car, your vehicle. You don't ever want to just smell the smog and, just everything that goes on. Animals, they're smokers. You go out of any place. You go out of a restaurant sometimes. You'll smell the grease smell, on your clothes. You don't want to carry that over. So, and everybody has their own scent. That's what's so awesome about Scentsy. You can take it to your workplace. They're not going to say anything because it's a light bulb. It's not an open flame. You can have a smaller one just because you like one fragrance. Maybe your husband or your spouse, or your kids don't like it, so they have another one in their room. You just change the scents. You can literally walk through an entire house and have a different scent in every room.
So do you go by the size of the unit? By the size of the space?
Yeah, we actually have 3 sizes. We have a plug-in, which is more for your smaller size. Like this would be perfect. This office here would be perfect for
Are you saying that we need one?
Yeah, you might.
Like elevators.
A lot of hot air in this room.
There you go. I didn't say that. You did.
Well, that is true. But yes, guilty as charged. But go ahead. Sorry.
But that would be great. Then we have the mid-size one, which is a little smaller. Then you have your premium size ones that are larger ones, are full size ones. And they one little square with your little plug-in ones you can use. You got to get a bar. There's about 7 squares in them, and for the plug-in ones, a half a square.
Really?
Will literally.
Wow.
Just make this room smell so much
So
better.
how long do they last? You put a square in. I mean, how long should it last?
I warm usually on the larger warmers, on the premium warmers. I put 2 of the chunks in. There's 8 in a bar. I put 2 in. I let them go 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Saturday nights when I go to bed, I shut all the warmers off. Sunday mornings when I get up, I pop them out, put new fragrances in.
Right.
And it just depends. I mean, if you've got a huge room, you probably need to run 2.
I have a great room. I have one of those houses that has the kitchen and the dinette area. I have a separate dining room, and then I've got like the living room area with the TV on the wall. So it's like a big, great room.
Right.
And I've tried everything. I've tried those wicks with the oil and the things that stick out with the sticks, and you're flipping that over. And I'm like, that didn't work. And then I tried the ones to buy Glade and stick it up. That didn't work.
Right.
After a while, I get the spray ones, and I don't like that because it's the aerosols, and it only lasts so long. And then my dogs start to sneeze, and then that.
Right. And we do.
It's very frustrating.
We have room sprays, and I recommend those for just a quick spritz, like in a restroom.
Good, yes. But not like to do the whole.
No.
Right.
To do probably an area that you're talking about, I would recommend 2 premium warmers and put at least 2 chunks in each one of the ones.
Okay.
And you could even mix and match. That's the one thing about Scentsy. At any given time, we're running 80 cents. There's got to be a scent that someone likes or someone can mix. And that's the fun thing, too. You can mix or match the scents. Try, luscious gardenia over here, maybe a pink pepper over here. You try it. Different things work for different people. They have different smells. There's not really an end. There's not any wrong or right way to do it. You were talking about the other ones, too. Is there a difference between us and one of the other brands that are out there? Most definitely. Ours are oil. Ours are proven. They're repeatedly over and over and over. They melt at a very low temperature. Your children, they're safe. They're a lot safer than the other ones.
They're non-toxic.
Really?
You can eat it, and
like
maybe you'll get a little tummy ache maybe, but it's not going to be where you need to call poison
So you're
control.
worried. Exactly. There's a lot of things out there. You flip over the label. It's like, oh my gosh. I mean, I need hazmat if my kid even touched the can.
Correct. Right.
But the reality is, we got a couple minutes left here, okay. and I committed to Mary. I said, Mary, help me, and I will help you.
Yes, you did.
I want my house to smell good, and I'm going to tell you about it, folks, just like I'm telling you now. And I'll tell you, a lot of you guys, listen, you're tired of wasting money. I'm looking at my camera just so you know. You're like, honey, that stuff doesn't work. That stuff doesn't work. You go to the store, and that stuff doesn't work. Or you buy it online because you heard it on an infomercial or something, and then that stuff didn't work. This stuff, I'm going to tell you, from what I understand, it works. I've never had it. But
I'm brand new.
I'm going to tell you.
Because I didn't either. She's the one that got me there, so I ordered something off of her. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. I've done, like you said, the Glade thing, I've got them plug-in things, the Febreze things with the fans on them, and I could never get anything. So I bought just one warmer, and I put it in there with the cup scents, and my husband walked in the house, and he's like, what's that smell?
Yeah. See, you win the guys over with this. The guys will buy this stuff. I'll buy it.
Right. But if my husband can tell me that he can
there you
smell
go.
it, and the warmer was in the other room when he walked into the house.
See?
I was hooked.
I like that.
I was hooked.
And there's a business side to this whole thing, too. I mean,
of course there
you
is.
can make money with this. We don't have much time to get into it today, but I want to have you back on again in the future. And I know there's rules there too. I mean, there's things like a guy like myself. I've been told in the past, like if I liked a product, I can't go around and sell it. I can't endorse it because I'm on the air. I can endorse it, but I can't sell it if there's an upstream or a downstream or whatever. That kind of,
right.
I don't know why that is. I think that's crazy for companies. It's like we talk to lots of people, but I'm sure there's something in there why they say it's not allowed. But so instead, what I say is, listen, let's tell the folks what's out there. So there's business opportunity. People need work. They need jobs.
Right. And you can get real quick to join mine at the website that you're probably seeing all over the place. Click on there. There's a link right on there to join. It's $99 plus tax and shipping. You get enough to start your own company.
And we have it up right now. You can see Casey's running through it. That's what's live right now on CBTV, so people can see this. So when you're on there, this lives live on the web forever.
Yes.
Go there. Go to the place that's on the third screen here. And the bottom line is, I want to talk more about that. I want to share with listeners how they can make money. I mean, a lot of people need to make money these days.
Right.
They need to learn other ways. There's a product line here. There's other product lines. I see things that are totally unrelated to this that are also have similar structures that are real. Mm-hmm. And I think people, what happens is they get turned off. Oh, that's one of those multi-level things that I don't want to do.
It's one of those pyramids.
Right. That's what people think. So you're almost embarrassed to talk to them.
I said it.
What are you talking
about?
One of those
skeptical people.
30.
You said I said it. I said, and I'm like, oh, whatever, and this. But literally, you're not have to going out there, like, no disrespect to other ones, but you kind of have to push it.
Yes.
Makeup and, and all that. You got bowls and stuff. You're trying to push, and this literally sells itself. I mean.
Good.
I mean, I don't know. I've made, in just a couple months that I've been doing it, I've sold over, $1,000.
Wow.
So, and just, I don't push. She pushes me all the time. She's like, you got to get out there.
You're one of those motivators.
Yes, I have to be.
I'm just kind of like go with the flow type of person. If someone comes around and I'm like, yeah, well, I sell Scentsy. Oh, you do? Oh, they let me, and I'll make a sale that way, and it frustrates her. But, it gets, our goals, and it gets my goals. And so it's great. It's
all about goals, folks. Ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
We'll end
having
the
us.
show on that note. Thank you so much for coming in. I'll keep you informed, folks, because let me tell you something. With my dogs, they're clean dogs. I shouldn't say that. My wife will kill me. But the fact of the matter is, we're going to share some more stuff with you in the future. Thank you so much. Go out and vote, vote, vote. Today is the day here in Texas. Thank you so much, folks, and we'll see you on Sunday.
The Craig Bushon Show. The Craig Bushon Show.
The new Talk Radio 96.3 and 1370.